Hi, this is future Lindsay. Um, I'm so sorry that the audio for the first couple, I don't know how long it was of this episode was bad because I didn't have my microphone recording because that's just how things go, I guess. Whatever. It's Mercury retrograde. Sometimes it just be like that. So, don't worry, at some point I will notice, you'll see, and I will then figure that out, and we'll be this mic, it doesn't even have good quality anyway, let's be real. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe. Episode 41. Let's fucking go. Um, Starting off strong here, you guys. Do you have a neighbor who mows their lawn every single day? Because I do. And I'm really hoping that you cannot hear the neighbor mowing their lawn, okay, on a Thursday afternoon. I swear to God, every single day, okay, every single day. And I know this because here is the scenario that I'm constantly in. I get up in the morning, I do my slow morning routine, which is, dilly dallying basically. And then I go to cook my breakfast, okay? About 10 a.m. is when I start cooking my breakfast, okay? When I start cooking in the house, I pop a window open, okay? Every time I say, hey, there's smoke, there's fire, there's, you know what I mean? I'm cooking with the oil. I'm gonna pop the window open. Okay? While I'm cooking my breakfast, I'm usually, more often than not, watching a YouTube or listening to a podcast on my cell phone. Okay? When I pop the window open, I quickly realize that I'm not going to be able to hear this podcast now on my phone. Up, go on. Because there's a damn lawnmower going on outside. Okay? And I went out to take my dog out several hours ago at this, 3 hours ago. I took my dog out and they were doing yard work over there next door. And I thought, well, golly, I hope they're done by the time I start filming in 3+ hours from now. They're not. They're still doing yard work. And let me tell you also, by the way, their yard is mid as fuck. Based on how much yard work they're doing, you would think that this is an impeccable yard. Crisp, green, sharp lines. Okay, landscape to the gills. No, it is not. It's the most mid yard you've ever seen in your life. Yet they are tending to it daily. Okay, and it's not the people who live there either. It is a landscaper that they hire. Okay, he is local. He lives on the street right behind us. Okay, and props to him for working every single day on the same yard. Okay, I hope he's making bank. I hope he's feeding his family. I hope that things are great over on his end. Okay, business is obviously booming. Okay, but some of us need to sit down with the microphone that's pretty low quality and record some of the most insufferable takes that you've ever heard inside their home because they don't have a studio. Okay? Will I ever tell them to keep it down? No, I will not. Will I ever speak to a stranger? No. I don't want to speak to any strangers. Okay? I stay introverted when it comes to speaking to strangers, initiating conflicts, speaking my mind, standing my ground. That's not the kind of girl I am. I was at the gym the other day and we needed some 2.5 pound weights, okay, to add to our bench press, okay, because we're girly pops, we're getting stronger. And as Sierra always says, You know, 2.5 pounds could make or break a world record. Okay. And that's true. That's true. And that's one way to look at it. So we needed 2.5 pounds. And we saw one on the bench right next to us where there was a man, a stranger. And she was like, go ask him if we could take those. And I was like, I don't want to talk to a stranger. And she's like, seriously? Go do it. And so I did. Actually, I didn't ask him. I kind of just like tiptoed around. He ain't gonna use them. He ain't gonna use them. And if he is, he needs to stand his ground against me, a stranger. Okay? That's on him. So good luck to him. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good week. Episode 41. We're going strong. Hopefully, you can't hear the lawn work next door, or it ceases shortly. Anyway, it's been a good week, guys. I've been Disneying a lot. Went to Disney on Monday for Jessica's birthday. Shout out Jessica. Happy birthday, Pisces girly. And we Disney bounded as Peter Pan. And obviously I was Smee. Okay, there's no other character that I could be from Peter Pan, to be honest. Except for like the lost boy that's like fat and mean. I guess I could have been him. But we did have a lost boy. The girl Haley was the lost boy. And Sarah was Peter Pan. Alex was Thomas, I think his name is. He was wearing a top hat. It was hilarious. But low-key, I got there alone. And then I was going to meet up with everyone when I was there. So I was kind of like strolling the park alone for like 30 minutes. And it was low-key celebrity status, girl. I really did look exactly like Smee. I have the body type. I had the outfit basically down to a T. And everywhere I was turning heads, girl. I was turning heads as Smee. It's nice to like know exactly, like sometimes the bounds are a little bit ambiguous and you kind of have to think about it. You know, and I don't really be bounding like that. I'll bound for someone's birthday. If you want to bound for your birthday, I will do that. Am I a bounder? Not really. Okay. I'm not a bounder arounder. But I will do it for a birthday. And Smee was a fucking hit, dude. Every time I like walked past a group, I could either they said out loud to me, "Oh my God, Smee, you look so cute," or I could hear them go, "Smee," as I was walking by. It was giving celebrity. It was giving celebrity. It was giving, wow, I'm gonna need a plaid to walk me around because low key I'm famous. So Smee was a hit. Smee was a hit. I'll insert a picture if I have the energy to do that in editing. I edit myself, and that is why there's not really a lot of tricks and trades in the old editing of this podcast. Okay, pretty straightforward. Pretty, you know, sometimes I have to cut out some shit if the camera stops recording. Which here's the thing about storage on the iPhone. Okay. And don't fucking piss me off. Why am I always running out of storage on the iPhone? I'm not known for taking a lot of photos. Every time I go to an event and I get home later, I'm like, I should have took more photos there. I should have took more photos. Like you either need to be the friend that takes a lot of photos or you need to have a friend that takes a lot of photos. Okay. My friend Sierra, she's really big on photos. She be catching little moments on camera, you know, on video, like cute little things. She be capturing. Okay. She's like a documentary film crew cameraman. She be capturing some shit. I do not be capturing any shit. Okay. I do not be having my phone in my hand in a social setting. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like, I like to be, I just never have the phone in my hand in a social setting. When I'm at home, I am doom scrolling for 9+ hours while I dilly dally. Okay. I'm not saying I'm not addicted to my phone. I'm just saying in a social setting, you won't be seeing me on my phone. Okay. It's not in my pocket. It's in my bag. And in order to get it out of my bag, I'm going to have to open it and rifle through, the black wormhole that is a woman's bag. You know what I mean? I don't want to be doing all that. And you know why Sierra is good at that? She is an a la carte girl, okay? She don't have no bag. She holds her wallet and her phone and her keys just in her hands. And it's not that she wasn't prepared. That's just how she does it. I call her a la carte, okay? So I'm a bag girl. I'm a bag girl. Either I have my fanny pack that crosses, my crossbody shit, or I got my little pap pack that I bring to Disneyland, my little Carhartt pap pack. But either way, if something's in it, it's going to be difficult to get it out. It's going to be difficult to get it out. So that's just what it is. But the storage on the iPhone is crazy. And it's constantly telling me that I've ran out of storage, even though, like I said before, I do not be taking a lot of photos. Okay? And the other day, I was putting something together in my head because my parents got a new puppy, right? So my mom, like the new puppy and her current dog, were playing. And she just be holding her phone up, filming shit. She will film an hour-long segment on her phone, 60 minutes. And she does that all the time, okay? How does she have storage and I don't? We went to my brother's show, like my brother's in a band and he was playing a show. And we went up there and they said, "Oh, welcome to the stage. I declare war." It's the band he's in. And my mom said, she's going to film the whole show. She's going to film the whole 40-minute set. Straight, too. She's not going to press stop and then go. And then, no, this is a 40-minute film on her phone. And she be doing that all the time. How does she have storage and I don't? I genuinely don't. It does not compute to me. And so, that's the only reason I'd be cutting in this podcast is if I run out of storage, I have to go over there where my phone is set up, and then I have to go through and delete some shit that I'm going to go ahead and deem I don't want to remember, memories that I am willing to forget, and delete those and then start it again. So that's the only editing you'll see on this show. No frills. No frills. I do have a water with me today. I do want to show you my new glass if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be. I've been drinking out of a glass that was once a jam jar. And you know the jam jar I'm talking about. It's a jam jar and it has like a red gingham top to it. Okay? Preserves, if I'm not being clear. And I love those jars because they have the gingham top. And I just love that. And it's a good size glass just for a little bit of like just a glass of water. And when I drink a glass of water, I want to drink the whole glass of water. Okay. I don't want to have a 32-ounce mason jar with water in it where I'm going to drink it and then set it down and come back to it later. No, I want a glass where I can fill it up to the top and pound the whole thing, dude. Get down on one knee and ice myself, in a sense. Okay. Drink the whole thing. And that is the size glass that I prefer to drink out of, okay? And that was what the jam jar was giving me. But in the new news, I went to Hobby Lobby the other day, okay? Hobby Lobby's kind of lit. I know they're a little bit controversial, but the sales are good. I am poor, and well, I'm not poor. No, I'm abundant, actually. Take that back, Spirit. You didn't hear that. I'm abundant, but I do still like a deal, okay? We like a frugal nature over here. So there was some candles over there that were on sale. I needed to get a couple candles for a couple of spells that I'm trying to do because I'm a witch now. And that was the cheapest place to get candles, so we went over there. Okay, I found this, well, Sierra found it and then showed it to me. But I found this cup. It's a glass and it's thick too, girl. This is thick glass. Like, it's going to take a lot to break this. I'm sure it'll break one day, but it's going to take a lot to break it. And it has little croissants all over it. You're probably not going to be able to see this even if you are watching on YouTube, but there's little freaking croissants all over the glass. I'm pissed. This is so damn cute. I'm pissed. So anyway, I've been rocking this glass the last 3 days, and it has been the perfect glass for what I like to drink out of, at the crib. And now I can use my old jam jar for storing some herbs for my spells. So anyway, that's what's been going on. Over here, I have a new glass. That's like the biggest news. That's the biggest news we have over here today. Next on the docket, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I don't know if I talked about it last week. I think I talked about it briefly because I was saying that we need more knights. I think last week was when I talked about medieval times. Girl, I can't remember. I think I need to do like a previously on Insufferable, just for my own sake, so I don't keep retelling the same stories. So previously on Insufferable, I think that's when I was talking about the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because I was talking about medieval times and about how knight's energy is cool and so on and so forth. Okay, I do have a bone to pick with Hollywood again, and I've already said this, and don't make me continue to say it. I don't want to watch stories that are written with the assumption that I'm on my phone. I am not on my phone. I am tuned in. And don't fucking piss me off by saying all the plot lines and the dialogue, okay? They don't really do that too much in Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but here's the bone I have to pick. 30-minute episodes and there's only 6 of them? What's even the point, bro? I heard somebody talking about not every show has to be an hour long. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What am I even getting out of this show if I can't even, like, oh my God, dude, I can't even finish like a 16-ounce drink in the amount of time that these episodes are. 30-minute episodes is crazy. It's crazy, and I don't like it. And I already went on this rant before on this pod about shows doing 6 to 8 episodes per season now. Okay? Can I not enjoy anything? Can you just give me something to immerse myself in? Like, I don't understand. It's giving broke. And that's my whole point here. It's giving broke. If you don't have money to make the show, then just say that. Just fucking say that. Because, and you know what, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Game of Thrones of it all, I am almost certain that those shows are very expensive to make. Okay? I am not saying that it's not. Okay? A medieval show, costumes, you gotta be filming in a fucking land far, far away in the middle of Scotland or whatever. Like, I'm sure it's expensive to get all of the cast and crew and all of the equipment and everything into like a castle in fucking, I don't know where they're, I don't know where they're filming. It's not like you can just pull up on, Van Nuys and shoot there. You know what I mean? Like, imagine getting like a semi truck full of all the camera equipment out to the middle of like a prairie. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it is expensive, but it is very annoying, I will say. Don't fucking tell me this isn't recording. Bro. I'm so pissed right now. Wow, okay, so now you're gonna get good fucking sound. I'm so sorry. I can't do it all over again. I can't start from the top. My stupid software here is doing like a different thing. And so, of course, I didn't realize that it wasn't recording. Oh my God, how tragic. Okay, I do apologize. Okay, so I will have to edit this a little bit. I'm gonna edit this part in, which is really annoying because that's gonna require some more work on my part. But let's be real, this mic kind of sucks. I really want to upgrade. I really want to have guests. Like, come on, guys. I really want to make this podcast better. Okay. One of these days we will be doing that. Okay. But until then, it's going to be a slapstick kind of situation. And that's okay. That is okay. My ideal set for this podcast with guests is literally like in like a carpeted like shiplap room with two lazy boys that recline, and that is how me and my guest sit here on the podcast, like kind of like, like a white trash situation. Okay, that is my ideal guest setup. Okay, so one of these days you might see me in that setup. We have some money, we have some budget or whatever, but until then, we are going to be getting mixed audio, and the audio that is supposed to be good is still going to be mid. It's kind of like that yard over there. They do it every day, and it's still mid. So that's kind of how the pod is working for me right now. But that's okay, guys. That is okay. Anyways, 30-minute episodes, only 6 of them per season. That's pissing me off. And please stop doing that. For God's sake. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyways, what else is going on? Love is Blind. I'm going to talk about Love is Blind for a little bit, okay? If you don't watch Love is Blind, you're not going to care about this. You're going to get lost. And it's a spoiler if you're going to watch it. So you can go ahead and tune out if you don't want to listen to my Love is Blind opinions. Okay? Love is not blind. I think we can all agree season 10, and it's all bad. Okay. I'm not saying that all the women are great that they cast on this show, but all the men are bad. Okay. I think that it's pretty clear how not great men are as partners. I don't think we need a show to demonstrate that to us. Okay. It doesn't matter what city you're in. The men are going to be bad. And not all of the women are great. Okay. Not all the women are great. And the worst women on the show are male centered. So what does that say? But yeah, this season is super tragic. And I think there's like, I don't know, I think there's danger afoot. You know what I mean? I feel like Alex has killed a person before. And that's why he's such a nomad. He's doing like a Israel Keys type thing. That's kind of what he's giving. It's kind of what he's giving. And that might sound mean. And if he's watching this, which he isn't, he needs to know that it's not when nobody's buying it. I think that he thinks that he's like is so well spoken and can like really like finesse the situation with his words. We are just simply not falling for it. It is so incredibly obvious, and maybe it's the edit, I don't know, but he's saying a lot of words without saying anything important or like of substance, and I think that is kind of like a red flag. Like every time he says like absolutely, I'm like, I'm cringing, dude. It's like it's giving, oh man, it's very difficult for me to articulate how he makes me feel, but it is icky, and he is the hottest one on the show. And that is also unfortunate, dude. That's a lesson in itself. Okay, just because that man is fine does not mean he is a good man. Okay? And I like a fine man as much as the next guy, but there are so many other factors that are more important to me in a man that the looks are just really a bonus. Like, and Love is not blind for me either. Like if I was in that show, I need I need to be able to ask you in the pause to do tasks for me. Okay? I need you to, build me a shelf or something, and then production and brings it into my pod and I get to inspect it. Okay? That's the kind of shit that I'm doing in the pods. I'm not asking like, do you leave dishes in the sink before you go to bed? Or like, how do you do your laundry or whatever? I don't give a fuck. Okay. First of all, we're not living together at all, ever, by the way. We're gonna have two separate houses. They could be next door to each other or in the same neighborhood, but we will not be living together. So I don't give a fuck how you do your laundry or if you are disgusting and a mess. Okay. That's on you. That's your house. Okay. You will not be living in my house and I will not be sharing a bathroom with you. So that's not the issue. If I'm in the pods, I'm asking questions like what kind of power tools do you have? Okay? You got a home of your own? What's the garage look like? Is it a stupid ass man cave which you're entitled to have? Okay? But is your garage filled with like a pool table and a dartboard or like do you have a table saw? Okay? Why wouldn't you have a table saw, by the way? You said no? Why not? You don't build shit? You don't work with your hands? You don't need it just in case? I mean, what how many drills do you have? And what brand of drill do you have? Okay? Do you like IKEA? Do you? Because I like IKEA. Do I want to build that stuff? No. You will be obligated to build it if I buy something at IKEA, that's gonna be on you, buddy. So how you feel about that? You know what I mean? I don't know what a man could ask me in the pods. I'm not bringing much to the table as far as doing anything for you. Okay. I'm not willing to do much for you. Okay. This is why I say not all the women on the show are good. Okay. I'd be one of those women that people like, damn, this bitch is not bringing anything to the table. I am not a server. I'm not a waiter. I do not bring anything to the table because that is not the job that I'm signing up for. Matter of fact, I hate jobs. I don't want one. Okay. And if being a partner with you is going to essentially employ me for free, by the way, that's a no for me. That's going to be a no for me. So, at the end of the day, I am probably one of the women on the show that everybody would not like. Okay. But low key, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm a good partner. I'm just not really into partnership at this at this era of my life. Okay. There's never been a man who has shown me or been reliable. I mean, imagine a reliable man who's not your father, by the way. Imagine a reliable man who's not your father. I'll wait. No, let's just hang it on. Just hang on. Close your eyes real quick, actually, by the way. Close your eyes. Okay. Picture a man who is strong, sensitive, and reliable, and he's not your father or your grandfather. You can't do it, can you? No, none of us can. None of us can, okay? When you picture a man, you are picturing a adult child in whom you are raising, okay? When you picture a man, or when I picture a man, I picture someone that I have to call the doctor to book them an appointment, okay? And make sure that the doctor is in network for the insurance, okay? I picture a man who doesn't take out the trash until I ask him to. He'll just keep adding stuff on, even if it's falling over, falling off, overfilling. He doesn't take it out. You know what I mean? That's the man I'm picturing. So yeah, it's kind of the whole living with a man of it all. And don't get me wrong, I love a man. Okay. I am unfortunately a very heterosexual woman. Okay. But I'm too enlightened, bro. I'm too aware. I've had too many experiences and I am too good now to settle for a man who asks me to do anything at all. Okay. And here's the bright side, fellas. I'm not really going to ask you to do anything either. Unless it's something that you need to be strong and build stuff. Okay. I need a contractor. That's what I need in a man. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to do anything else pretty much, but you will not be asking me to do anything. So, anyway, yeah, I'm one of those women you wouldn't like on the show. The men are bad, and I do be feeling bad for Connor. He seems like a good man, but he's just not aggressive enough for Breezy, who is not a good woman on the show. Okay. She is male centered, and that's why we don't like her. Okay. I mean, I don't really know her personally, so um, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, and I guess we'll tap into the whole Brittany and Chris situation. I think that's their names. The guy who says that he dates people who do Pilates and CrossFit. I fear he has reverse body dysmorphia. Okay. And that can happen with exercise. Okay. When you exercise, okay, in a cardio sense, okay, if you're doing cardio every day, you're running marathons, you're doing CrossFit, you're doing high rocks, you're one of those people, you are a zoomer arounder of sorts. Okay. Exercise gives you confidence. Okay. So if you, and unfortunately, that is true. Okay. Unfortunately, when you move your body, however you're going to move it, maybe you're doing Zumba, maybe you're doing CrossFit, maybe you're doing Pilates, maybe you're weightlifting or whatever. When you move your body, the flow of your blood into your brain and through the rest of your body, and this is science, by the way, okay, um genuinely you feel good about yourself. Okay. The more sedentary you are, the more you are a layer arounder instead of a zoomer arounder, the more you can feel like self-conscious about yourself. Okay. And a lot of people are not zoomer arounders, myself included. Okay. I am not a zoomer arounder. Okay. But when I be zooming around every now and again, I be feeling really good about myself after. Okay. So unfortunately, it does work. Okay. It is unfortunate. We don't want to believe that, exerting ourselves physically is good for our mental health. Unfortunately, it is. I'm sorry to report that. Okay. But when you do so, maybe too much zooming around, and you are already an insufferable man, you could get the idea that you are better than you are. Okay. And that's kind of the downfall sometimes of exercise. Okay. Some of these guys don't need to be exercising, some of them need to delay around a little bit more. Okay. But they're exercising so much that they're getting reverse body dysmorphia, meaning that they think that they look better than they are. I'm sure this happens to women too. I'm just talking about the context of the tragedy that is Chris on Love is Blind season 10. Okay. He thinks that he thinks he is eating. He thinks he is eating it up, and he is not. He is not. He is small, which, you know what? I don't mind a small man. Okay. 5'6". That's still 6 inches taller than me. Okay. So I ain't got much to say. But he is overcompensating with the zooming around. Right. And when he sees a woman who is both beautiful and successful, and she doesn't zoom around in an exercise sense, okay, she's a fucking doctor at the ER. Okay, she's probably getting 30,000 steps at the fucking ER every day. With her fucking 24-hour shift or whatever they work over there at the ER. Saving lives, by the way. She be zooming around for her job. Okay. It's kind of hard to be really into exercise when your job is physically exerting you every day and people's lives are on the line. Okay. But she is abundant in so many areas of her life. I mean, she's Gorgina, and her house is Gorgina too. And her room, the dungeon, he referred to it, that's how your room is supposed to be. Your room is supposed to be dark and cold, and that's where you are, that's where you reset. That's how you get a good night's sleep, is when you create your room as a dungeon. Okay. A nice dungeon. It was beautiful. There was a lot of snakes, but if she's into snakes, she's into snakes. Okay. At one point, I was really into cheetahs, and everything I had was cheetah print. Okay. That's a much trashier way to decorate everything that you love than snakes. I'll let her have the snakes. He saw her life of abundance and he said, "How do I bring this woman down?" And then for him to say, like, all of those things about her body and how he's not attracted to her because he's used to dating people who do CrossFit, which CrossFit bodies are, I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to talk about people's bodies, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know what, I think he's like describing a man when he's talking about the CrossFit bodies and all that. But he really needed to bring her down. And for him to say all of that stuff to her and then be like, "Well, it's not like I don't want to end things. I just am like, I'm just bringing this up because, like, I think you're ugly, but I still want to work it out. I still want to see it through." And she was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna. No, I'm done." And then him be like, "Wow, she broke up with me." Men be doing that, dude. Men will want to break up with you, but they can't do it, right? Because they don't have the courage. They're cowards. So they will do something so heinous to you or say something so heinous to you to that so you'll break up with them. Okay? That is a classic thing that men do. Okay? For me, it's been they cheated on me. Okay? Cheating is a no for me. I usually don't move on from that. Okay? But they wanted to break up with me and they just couldn't do it. So they just cheated on me instead. And then I broke up with them and they were like, "Got it. Done. Moving on. Now I can continue to do whatever the fuck I want for ever. And, good luck to you." So anyway, that's what he did to her. He tried to reverse psychology her, but unfortunately with people like him and people like Alex, you're being filmed. And when you say the same thing every time the cameras turn on, and they can do a compilation of you, people are doing edits, people are doing compilations of you saying the same old shit. I mean, I'm sure probably somebody could do that with this podcast, me saying the same shit all the time. But when you do that, we be seeing right through you, okay? And what's her name's dad? I forget, was it Ashley? Her dad with the lawyer questions and everything was first of all iconic. We love him for that. Oh my god. What the hell? Sorry. He went crazy for a second. He asked him all those crazy questions and he was like, "Yeah, this person is not honest." What did it take him like an hour to figure that out? It's like oh God, Alec, Alex, whatever your name is. Unfortunately, the jig is up. You are going to have to start being honest. Okay. You need to go back to the nomad situation. Got a girl in every city. You just go bouncing around. And that's what you need to continue to do. That is the lifestyle that is good for you. Okay. You're not a marriage guy. You are not a man who is reliable, okay? You might be fine. And fine is kind of a stretch, honestly. He's just an attractive guy. I don't know. I think he has a nice smile. Um, and he is obviously tall. But miss me with a man who almost went pro in fill in the blank sport. Please miss me with that. How many ACLs can you tear on this planet? You know what I mean? Like, how many times can you meet a man who says that they were gonna go pro in fill in the blank, but they tore their ACL? It's almost like that is textbook um man who wasn't good enough to go pro, you know? And pro sports is crazy. Like, why is that every man's fucking dream? I hate a man who says they almost went pro. I really do. I really don't like it. You could just say like, oh, I really like basketball. Yeah. I played as a kid, I played in high school, I played in college. Now I have a job. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, "Oh, I only have a job because I was gonna go pro and I was going to um be drafted and then I hurt my knee and it ruined my whole career." It's like, oh my god, dude. Like, this is a play from the playbook of every man ever. I just do not want to hear about your sports career. Please leave me out of it. Please. Um, yeah, so that's a red flag. I don't know. The ACL thing really is a red flag. I don't think Alex had an ACL. He just said knee surgery, but I've encountered so many men who have torn their ACL. Okay. Turns out the ACL on a male body is the weakest part of their body. It could get torn in an instant. Okay? It's just getting torn left and right. Okay, somebody needs to invent a supplement that um protects male ACLs. Okay, somebody needs to hone in on a medication or a supplement that will help men in their ACLs because they are the weakest part of a man's body. Okay, and what even is an ACL? Let's find out actually. Let's go ahead and see ACL. What is it? Not it being the knee. What is an ACL? Anterior. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. One of the key ligaments that helps stabilize the knee joints. So I fucking bet money that the ACL was what the knee surgery that Alex had, and that cut off his big fancy career in soccer, which is whatever. I guess that's the least uh active, what do you call it? It's not a combat sport. What am I saying? I can't remember but contact sport, okay? Not really that crazy. They don't really do a lot of tackling. I don't know. I've never watched a soccer game, but um yeah, dude. I think, dude, the ACL is part of the knee. I thought it was something else. The ACL connects the thigh bone, femur, to the shin bone, the tibia. It's most commonly torn during sports that involve sudden stops and changes in direction, such as basketball, soccer, tennis, and volleyball. Exactly. So if you play a sport, you will tear your ACL at some point. It turns out weakest part of a man's body. Um, so there's that. Oh, Austin City Limits, also an ACL. Anyway, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of Alex. I think, unfortunately, the jig is up. He put his scam on national television, and unfortunately, he was found out within the first two episodes. So he is going to have to really change his ways if he wants to, live a life of ease. I'm sure there's bitches lined up at the door. I know they're not going to get married. I already know they're not going to get married. Today is the 26th of February. So we only have seen 1.5 of one wedding. And I already know that nobody's going to get married. I'm sure that Vic and Christine will get married. They have not been tainted with the rest of the cast having to spend a bunch of time with them. But and the Bachelorette and the bachelor parties were trash. Come on, let's be fucking honest, dude. Netflix is broke as fuck, dude. The budget is tragic. Don't even fucking do the show if it's gonna be low budget like that. You know? Like in the first couple of seasons, the budget is low of a show or whatever. But if you're going to continue to make seasons year after year after year, going on 10 fucking seasons, and the budget's getting lower than the original seasons, there is some conversations need to happen in the pitch room. Okay. The production meeting needs to address the budgets. Okay. Yeah, the budgets can't be going down. They need to go up, up, up. Okay. That is just you have to up the ante every time. Okay. So yeah, not letting Vic and Christine do the entire experience with everyone else because he said you was broke and you couldn't afford to send them to Cabo or whatever. Whatever. But anyway, I don't think anyone's getting married. I think um everyone is gonna break up eventually. Even if they get married, they'll probably get divorced, like, annulled in the next 2 months after this. So those are my opinions on the tragedies that are currently on Love is Blind this season. Okay. Hopefully we'll have some updates next week when we see the rest of the weddings. And then the reunion, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me today, you guys. Sorry if you don't watch Love is Blind because most of this is about Love is Blind. I'm so sorry about the sound of it all. I can't record. Okay, this is not a scripted show. This is off the dome, and I think that is pretty obvious. I think that it is clear that I am winging it every week on here. Okay. So I cannot, start from the top in that sense. So I am sorry about the audio of it all. I'm sorry about this mic. It's not that good either. So, bear with me. Okay. Maybe after episode 52, we'll be totally um, in a new era. You know, abundance is flowing, you guys. Abundance is flowing. I have my money bowl. I am cleansing. I am enlightening myself. I am diving deep. And I will be getting better. Unlike the budget for Netflix shows. Okay, I will be getting better. The show will be getting better. Everything's gonna be great. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to episode 41 of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe. And I will see you next week. Bye.